All right, we are live. I am streaming on both Facebook and YouTube. Today, I will be interviewing Cara Nicole. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer to go ahead and we're going to get some more viewers to show up on here. Give it just like a couple of minutes more. I want y'all to go ahead and share this out as much as you possibly can. We have got several questions for her. We're going to open it up for some of the questions from the audience as well. So if you do have anything that you've wanted to ask her or comment on or anything like that, let that be known over there, and we will try to get to that as best we possibly can. But we need to get this shared out so that more people can get involved and no one gets left out. And Mark is already in here. What's up, Mark? I will bring Cara in here very shortly. We just want to give it just a little more time to go ahead and build up here. So you have to look at this first, and I apologize, but we're just getting everything set up. But thank you for being here. And again, for anybody who is just now popping on with this, Cara Nicole will be doing a live interview with me here very shortly. I will also be doing a live book review on her book, Fire Bitch. So we'll have that out there as well and have some fun with this. Mark, I already know. I thought about having some fun with that, but I enjoy being, amongst the living, so I am not going to ask that question. We're going to have some fun with this today, definitely, though. All right, I have got one more minute. We're going to bring her up here. So as you come in, please share this out. Let everybody know we are live. I know that Heather is going ahead and she is going ahead and making that known as well on the other side. And I definitely thank her for doing so. All right, without further ado, here we go. I have been looking forward to this. Demon Phil Comics and More, New Jersey. I am doing yet another live interview. Today, right now, I have Cara Nicole coming up here. If you don't know who she is, let me go ahead and give you a brief rundown of what I know at least. She is known for comics. She is known as a colorist. She is known for cosplay. And she is a strong businesswoman, and she's also into comedy. So let's go ahead and bring her out here to go ahead and do some talking. Let's get this started. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, Cara.
Afternoon. Yeah, I guess it's technically afternoon because it's 12:02 where I'm at.
Well, how are you doing today? How's everything going over that way?
Everything is going fantastic. I've got so much going on, so I'm glad that I could take some time to come hang out with you for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this. Of course, we've been talking about some other projects and doing some things on the side as well, so I've kind of kept up with you. But you made mention of one thing, and it is very true. You asked why you haven't been on the show yet. And my answer to that was because you were so busy. And you were with
Did
Fire
you
Bitch and
hate
everything
me?
going on.
You hate me. Ah!
Not at all. So I went ahead and decided we need to get you up here because Fire Bitch finished up. We've got that underneath you. We've got a few other things that are working right now. Actually, a lot more than a few. And we're going to be touching on those as we go along. So, first and foremost, I'm going to ask the question. I don't even know why I'm asking this, but just in case, for those out there that don't know who this woman is right here, Cara, would you go ahead and tell us who you are and where people can find you?
Well, I am AZ Power Girl online. My name is Cara Nicole, and I am a cosplayer, I guess by trade at this point. But I'm also a comic book colorist and a writer and an editor. And yeah, I do all things Comic Con.
It looks
And
like
you
you
can
have
find me
your
everywhere.
hands in just about everything. Absolutely. And it's very apparent by your book too, which we'll be getting into here very shortly. But out of the things that you were talking about that you were doing there, writer, editor, colorist, cosplay and everything, do you have one that you choose that is more of a favorite that you like to do?
Wow, that's really hard. I think that what I do at the time is kind of my favorite. So, like, right now, I've got everything going on. I'm always working on something. Cosplay is kind of like my bread and butter right now. So I do a lot of cosplay, and I love creating cosplay that is for independent comic books. Like that, I really love that. I love, everyone can cosplay Supergirl and Black Cat and Wonder Woman, but what about Vampires of New Jersey? What about Black Phantom and Sisterhood and Patriotica? What about these awesome stories and creations that are new to not only the comic book world but the world in general? There's so much more out there, and I love bringing those characters to life.
Absolutely. And you bringing that up kind of brings up something as well, because I had noticed there was a post on, it's a fairly recent post on there within month or so. Everything's recent now because all the days are just running together. Wendy Steen Shaner does Naughty Stripper Fairy Assassins, and you had made wings. And
Yes.
you give like a tutorial on how to do that. And I was amazed by that, on how you did that. But that alone was not enough. Seeing you in that, and I actually have the cosplay cover for the book. It came out great. And that's one of those things, like you said, it's something that's not the normal.
Well, and I have another set of wings that I'll be making very, very soon that are similar to that, but they're black.
Interesting. You have my attention on that one.
Yes, so stay tuned for the black set of wings for that. But I love those wings, and I wanted to put the tutorial out there so that other people could see how I did it as well. They're incredibly lightweight, and I've done multiple different costume variations for Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins using those wings, and I've even worn them to conventions.
Very nice. You do have, I've noticed, and here's the thing too, in case any of you aren't aware, these are not purchased things that you do for your cosplay. You actually build these things to fit and to work together. It's piecing all the things together is what you do.
Sometimes. So sometimes, like when I did, just since we're on the subject of Naughty Fairies, I did the steampunk outfit. And the steampunk outfit, I did make that. I made, everything. The bodysuit was the white undersuit. Yeah, it was purchased, but then I had modified it again and again and again. So I will use already made things as templates and fabric for new creations. But I had to take a whole bunch of vinyl, like fake leather that you would use for like upholstery vinyl, and use that and make this outfit. But then I also did like the bathing suit, and I bought the bathing suit. There's things you're not going to do. I'm not going to make a pair of jeans, but
Right.
I might take a pair of jeans and I might, cut them up and modify them and resew them to what I need.
Absolutely. And I've seen your process while you're actually making some of these items, and it's very interesting because you actually take the time out of your schedule to go ahead and sit with people online and have them as a part of your world while you're going ahead and creating these things, which is very interesting.
I try.
Now, in kind of going along, we're gonna stray off of cosplay here for just a moment. Let me ask you a question here, and it's kind of a broad question, but I want to see how you take this. What role do the core values or ethics, morals play in your work? So
Wow.
the core ethics and morals, as far as honesty, integrity, respect, those kind of things. What role do those play in your works?
Well, I always try to be respectful to people. Sometimes I get people that like to antagonize me. And if you ask me a stupid question, I will give you a stupid answer. I will respect you while I give you a stupid answer, but I will give you a stupid answer. And, I do stand-up comedy as well. So that means I'm definitely a liar. I'm also I've also dabbled in politics. So there again. So everything that I am saying, I have the utmost respect for people in general. And I respect this business, but I'm going to say that it's up to you, and you get to decide whether or not what I'm saying is real or bullshit.
Very understandable. And I will agree that you do if you are asked something, then you do respond in kind on how it is asked. I have seen that many, many times. Now,
Well,
let's
and
go
I
ahead
will
and I'm going
always.
to go right ahead.
Oh, I would say I'll always, if I'm hired for a job, that's one of the biggest things as far as integrity goes. If I'm hired to do a job, I want to do that job to the best of my ability. And it actually brings me a lot of stress because if I'm doing something of my own, then I get to decide how I want it to be done and how I want it to be portrayed. But if I'm doing something for a creator, I want to make sure that they're happy with the product. And being a cosplayer is very different from being a line artist because as a colorist, I can just go into Photoshop and I can change the color of something. But to redo a photo shoot is incredibly taxing on your time and your emotional state and your body. And it's not as simple. So when you're doing cosplay, you really need to make sure that they're happy and you're happy because it can be incredibly time consuming, incredibly financially cost prohibitive if you can't get it right in the first place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you had kind of touched on what I'm going to bring up on the next question here. You had kind of mentioned about the comedy. Now, how did you get started in the comedy?
So it was actually funny. A friend of mine wanted to do stand up and I encouraged him and I'm like, yeah, go do this. And I kind of kicked his butt into gear to get out there. And I got him booked on a show at a convention with a pretty big celebrity lineup. And it was only a few minutes, but he just took off from there. And he's like, you talked about doing it because I'd talked about doing stand up for a long time. And I've done a lot of times a host. And when you're hosting things like costume contests and bands and that sort of thing, you got to keep the crowd entertained, which falls in line with stand up. So he was telling me, you talked about doing this, and then he had some comedians skip out on a show that he was doing. And he's like, I lost some of my comics. Do you want some time? And I'm like, I don't know if I can not swear that long. So, but I did it, and I did my first show before I ever even did an open mic. And after I did that first show, I started doing some open mics and trying out some new things, and it's just all snowballed.
And I have seen, I think, two shows so far. One was a very small one at a con or something like that, and then there was another one that you had done was a live one. And yeah, it was they're interesting shows, most definitely. And you did two different versions as well, because there was one where there were children present, so that was different, and then there was the other one.
Yeah, when there's children present, I will stay to the clean stuff. And it was funny, I was at a show not too long ago, and one of the comments was kind of like, really, her? She's not that great. There were children everywhere. And then the nighttime show, he's like, oh, okay, you're cool, you're cool.
But that's good that you have those morals and you stick to that. That you're not one of those that says, hey, if you don't want to see it, then don't bring your kids.
Well, because when you're doing a show at a convention, you do recognize that there are children present, and that's one of my biggest concerns about doing comedy. That people are going to say, "Oh, do you know what she said?" It's like, yeah, she said that. It was a joke. It was in a stand-up comedy environment, which is very, very different. It doesn't mean that I believe all of these things. A lot of times I'm just poking fun at life and things that go on.
And that's always a good thing to do. I mean, it can come out where you can have some fun with that because it actually has real time experiences with your life that you can actually kind of poke fun and say it's laugh or cry. I choose laugh.
Right. It's like if you're going to laugh at me anyway, then I should be paid for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about cosplay, and no, I am not going to ask where you got started. I know better than that. But I am going to ask you a couple other questions that I came up with on here. For one, I want to ask, out of all the cosplays you've done, what has been your favorite and why?
That's a hard one. It used to be so easy. It used to be like, oh, Power Girl, because I feel the most comfortable in that costume. I use my real hair. My dog's barking. I don't know why. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to eat that UPS guy. You're not even going to stop him from messing with my packages. So I love doing Jason Voorhees because I have a machete. And I feel like, you know, when you're watching those movies and then you got the guy going through the jungle and he's got that machete and he's just like hacking through all the leaves and all the tree branches. And that's what I feel like at a Comic-Con, you know? I've got my machete and I'm just hacking my way through the aisles, all the people, and the people are my trees and my vines, and I'm just cutting and moving them out of my way. But Fire Bitch is very, very near and dear to me. And I love Fire Bitch because she's my, hey! She's my creation, Alfred Trujillo and I. And so Fire Bitch is definitely, she's also very comfortable, and I use my real hair. And so I don't know. I think I gave you a bunch of answers. Pick whichever one you want.
Oh, absolutely. But everything I've seen, you look great in. So, I mean, and it's not just the looking great part. You actually become the role. That's what I like about whenever I see you do the actual cosplay. You're one of those true cosplayers who, whenever you put on the outfits and everything, you go straight into that mode.
Now, I'm going to preface that one because this became problematic over the years of cosplay. That you would have cosplayers thinking, oh, I'm just being the character, and this is the way the character acts. Deadpool. You know, just because you are trying to embody a character doesn't mean that you get to go around and act like a dick. Does that make sense? So you still have to treat people with respect. You still have to be appropriate with that. I was at a convention and this girl dressed as Harley, and it's like, okay, you know, you're doing the little voice and whatever, but when you have your buddy pick you up and swing you all around the hall where you're going to kick a kid and knock shit off of people's table, like, there's a line. You still need to behave in a respectful and appropriate way.
I completely agree. And
children, because you know, Batman, and a friend of mine, he cosplayed Batman. But when there were small children, he would speak to them in a softer, calmer voice. And people are like, well, you're a terrible cosplayer because Batman doesn't sound like that. And he's like, Batman would never scare a child. So that means that I have to take my Batman voice down and speak to that child on a friendlier level so as not to make them fearful. And I think that those things are very, very important when you're talking about embodying the character. Our intent should never be to harm anyone or to scare children.
Right. And just so we can put this out there, cosplay is not consent. Just that needs to be thrown straight out there. But now, we had already mentioned we went into Fire Bitch, so I'm going to go full tilt boogie into this because I've been looking forward to this. You actually posted one of my quotes on your post for your book and everything, which I definitely appreciate that because I appreciated the book. I got to read it a day or two before the digital came out because she wanted to see what my opinion was on it, and I actually learned that she is fearful of something, which was very interesting. She hadn't heard from me throughout the day, and she said, no news is bad news. And I was like, oh my gosh, hang on. Let me go ahead and give this to you then. Fire Bitch. If you have not, first of all, if you didn't back it, shame on you. I know you can get some copies of this somehow, some way, and we will have those links for you. And there it is right there. But the digitals went out to those of us who backed it. So we all got to read it now and have some fun with this. Let me go ahead and give you my review. As you're opening that up and taking it up, if you want to go ahead and show it off.
Sure.
My review of this basically is, and I had the digitals, of course, so I did not have the book as of yet, but it is on the way. So cover to cover, this thing is gorgeously done as far as the colors, the inks, everything is on there. The panels are not the basic square to square to square. They are just all over the place, but the fluid movement between all the panels is absolutely perfect. But what got me was the dialogue. It It was so much fun. I have laughed to tears in several movies and several things that I've done in my life. Doing it while I'm reading a comic book, not so much. Well, this one broke that mold. So I actually had some tears rolling down on that one, which was great. It was amazing. I absolutely enjoyed it. And anybody who gets it, it's going to be a definite enjoyable book to get cover to cover. And we've kind of talked about a little bit of the future of it and some of the other shows that you've had going on and all that I've kind of questioned on the side. So let me go ahead and ask you, as far as Fire Bitch is concerned, what was your biggest obstacle that you found while you were going ahead and making that book?
Oh, the biggest obstacle, like technically, or because there's always something, your computer crashes. We lost a lot of files. We actually, our hard drive crashed at one point.
Ouch.
And we lost files. So there were things that had to be redone because those files were either corrupted or disappeared. So there was that. There is always the emotional side of, is someone going to get offended by this and try to cancel you online? And that is something we deal with in the book, is the cancel culture of our online lives now, because we don't have one life anymore. Usually you get up, you go to work, you have a life, the people you interact with are the people you interact with, but now we have two lives. You have your online life and you have your IRL. So if someone cancels you in your online life, you could be like a happy, normal person one day, and the next day you're a piece of garbage and you don't exist anymore. So
right.
I think that that's something we're starting to try to protect. And I was worried about that. And I talked about it with comedy as well. If you say something, is someone going to bring it out? Oh, you said this, or you did this, or you mean that. A lot of people think it's cute to try to call me Fire Bitch. Oh, I think you're adorable, Fire Bitch. She's a terrible person. Chastity Chase is not someone to be revered. She is an awful person. And I don't want people saying, oh, she's just like you, because I don't want to be like that. I hope I'm not like her. She's rude and disrespectful and self-centered. And so being associated with this character, having her based on me, she is not based on me.
Right.
I cosplay her, and there are some images, and it is a lot of times easier to give an artist reference of me because I can look like her. But as far as her personality and who she is, no, please, I am not Fire Bitch. It was a character that Alfred drew, and I looked at it and came up with this huge backstory. I make fun of a lot of things as far as social media. I make fun of a lot of the cosplayers that I have associated with over the years and how they behave and the things that they behave. And then, of course, we're going to take that and we're going to bump it up to the next level and make it worse, because it is a story. It is drama and comedy and all these things wrapped into one. So, that I would say that those have been some of the issues that we've had.
And yeah, the issue with the hard drive, that is huge, because I mean that's your all of your work that you're doing on that, and then you have to basically start over at that point from whatever area you were working on at the last point. I don't know how far you got into the book before that crash, but that could still be bad from just page 1.
Oh yeah. Well, it took a lot to get a lot of our files back. We still have files all over the place. So we did get some stuff back, but it's not organized in any way, shape, or form. So imagine all of the files on your computer thrown into a pile individually and then put back up randomly wherever.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and address the audience right now because they are trying to get me tongue twisted, and they're doing so. We have quite a few people in here. I want to say thank you for showing up for one thing. For another, I am seeing some of the comments that are coming through. I want to say right now, Russell, I did see your first comment on there, and that'll be addressed at some point as well. Trust me. Steph, I see all of your comments, and I see you and Russell definitely commenting in there. Pops, I saw you were commenting as well. Thank you for going ahead and sharing this in the madness. and he had some questions about cosplay because he himself is a comic book character brought to life in his book that's going to be coming out called Mojo Rising. So he's looking forward to that. So he was kind of asking about some ideas on how he needs to act as a character, in cosplay.
Well, that really is up to you. I mean, that's very personal. People say, how do you get started in cosplay? You put on a costume. And that could be anything from a closet cosplay with things that you have on your own that you put together to embody this character, to creating something from scratch. Like I said, you do not have to make everything. You don't have to make a pair of jeans. That's kind of ridiculous. Your behavior, behave. Don't be a jerk. That's huge. Do not be an asshole. Even if your character is like that, you can have a little bit of that personality, but remember that especially if it is a character that people don't know, that you will be judged based on that. So
Absolutely.
a lot of it's just get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people that are antisocial find that they are more comfortable in cosplay. It's kind of like, the guy in the Chuck E. Cheese costume. He's behind the mask. So you're back there doing whatever you want. And you find that those people in those character suits are actually very happy to be in them and can bring out a little bit more of themselves with it. So don't do anything you're going to be uncomfortable with. Don't do anything illegal that you're going to get caught for. I had to, make sure I throw that in there. And, don't harm anybody. Just be true to yourself and your character and what you love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not agree more on that. Now, we're going to jump off of the cosplay again, go ahead and go to something else right now. With current events and everything that's happening in the world that we can't get out as much, I like to go ahead and ask the question, and I like to have fun with this as well. I'd like to know what your most memorable con experience has been.
Wow. Most memorable. There's so many. I can't even. So many. I don't even know. One of the fun things that I did that I just loved is I used to have this little pink alpaca, and I loved this little pink alpaca, and his name was Jorge, and I carried him around everywhere, and I lost him in Salt Lake. So I was devastated, and I had him on my table with me, and this girl had a giant one. It was big. It was a huge size one. And so we did alpaca racing. She rode her, giant alpaca, and I rode my tiny alpaca, and we got a picture, and it was just so much fun. I also, after con one year, I gave Talent Caldwell a piggyback ride in downtown Albuquerque.
All right. So it sounds like you've had a lot of memorable times as far as that's concerned. I know I haven't met you as of yet, so I can't say, personally what I've done as far as meeting you. I will say that I have lived vicariously. No. I mean, we're going to get you here. That's not an option. We're going to get you up here. But I lived vicariously through Alton Simpson, because whenever he met you at C2E2, I got a phone call, and I was actually at a craft con at the time, craft fair con, something like that. And he called, and I didn't know what was going on. I answered the phone, and he said, I'm outside of this con right now. I'm just going to let you know right now. I met her. She is a force of nature. It was just amazing to actually be in her presence. I mean, he was going on and on and on. And I can see, because following you online, you are a very fun person to be around and to watch and all. And then I've actually, you can attest to this, we've talked several times over the phone. We've discussed projects. We've discussed other things that are going on. And you definitely have that air about you of, I mean, you will say what's on your mind, for one thing, but you are very respectful, and you put it out there. Your passion level for what you do in the industry is 210% or more. So I definitely see that on my end. Like I said, I haven't met you yet, but I am waiting to see that in person, at least. So that is my version of the experience that I've had as far as being, around you for that. Now, in talking about the most memorable con experience, I want to ask on the flip side of this and ask you, what is your most memorable fan experience?
Oh, well, um, Joel Hodgson. Do you know who he is? From
I
Mystery
know the
Science
name, yes.
Theater. Yeah.
Yes.
He came up to my table once at a show in Albuquerque, and and just meeting him was just amazing. He's just this mild mannered person with so much just creativity, and you expect fireworks, but he's just so mild and calm, and it's just fantastic. He's just, instead of putting everything on display and putting out everything out there as a big deal, he just puts out his ideas and puts out what he wants, and it explodes on its own. It was amazing meeting him. Um, Also, okay, biggest one, biggest. I won Geek Prom Queen.
Okay.
So my very first convention, I was dressed as Power Girl. I joined in the costume contest like last minute. My friend's like, "Come on, let's go join." I'm like, "Okay." I'm not expecting anything. And she's like, "You won." And I'm like, "That's stupid. I didn't win." And I won.
But I mean, you do. It's not just the costume. It's the persona that follows. Because I've seen some of your cosplays whenever you'll get online and you'll be just doing a live thing on there dressed in cosplay, but you're in cosplay. So whenever you're dressed as Power Girl, you have that persona, you have that demeanor about you going into that, which is fun to be around because it's no longer Cara that I'm talking to. I'm talking to Power Girl. And it's very interesting that you can flip that switch like that. Not a lot of people can do that, especially whenever they do it as much as you with so many different cosplays.
Well, it just keeps me from having to be me.
There's nothing wrong with you whatsoever. I will go ahead and say right now that I'm going to go ahead and bring this up, and I am prepared for this because me bringing it up, I have to be prepared. But one of my favorites that I've seen so far, because we're talking about favorites, is the Lady Death. And yes, I coined up. So everybody that's in the sworn that's watching this, yeah, I'm good. They're waiting for me to slip up. I'm telling you, they are waiting for it. But every time I mention it, I will have my coin. That is where I'm going with this. That is the best way I can show that I am sworn with this as of right now until we get to Sworn Fest next year. That being said, whenever you did your Lady Death, you went a step above and beyond because you actually did the white eyes to go on there. And you told me an interesting thing about that because you said basically you were almost nearly blind while you were wearing those things.
Yeah.
And
I did buy another pair though, so I have some screens. But while I was at C2E2, I couldn't find them. So yeah, I was in the cataracts, and you lose about 80% of your visibility.
See, that's definitely putting the passion into what you're doing with your cosplay, because losing your vision that much would be, I just don't see how you could walk around and be in that area of the con and everything and pay attention to as much as you do. But I guess you're so much, again, in character that you just feel the essence of the ones around you.
You do. And it sounds ridiculous, but you really do. And I had never met Alton before, but like I felt him. Like I had a feeling it was him, but then I didn't want to be wrong and look like an idiot. So, and a lot of people, like, you can feel people's energy. So years ago, I worked as a professional psychic. And I really do. You can feel people's energy. And you remember I talked about how you have your online persona and your real life persona. There are some of you out there that online are so different than in real life. It's like in real life, you feel a certain way, and online you feel differently. So that's something that we as people need to recognize. Am I putting out online the person that I really am? Because what other people take away from it is very different. So you can feel those energies.
Absolutely. I completely agree on that one. Now, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit on this one. And we're going to talk about, with the current situation, everything that's going on outside. I want to ask you, how do you feel that you've most evolved yourself during all these current conditions that are happening outside? What have you most evolved about yourself?
don't know. I mean, I work from home, so I think that I've gotten better about going online. I wasn't going live as much as I am now because I go to cons. I am one of those cosplayers, like I don't live on social media. I go to the conventions and I go to the stores and I go to the events and I meet you and I hug you and I snuggle your babies and meet your wives and your family and your parents, and everyone really became like, people talk about their con family. It really is like, you guys are my family. I see some of you people more than I see my own mother, and she lives across town because we all go to these events and I get to know you and know your lives. And so I'm missing that interaction. I'm very much like an emotional vampire. So when I meet you and I talk to you, I'm not just getting to do this, I'm also sucking your life force to keep myself immortal. And it's really been hard to do that online. So I am going live a lot more and trying to be more behind the scenes than I usually am. But I have a lot of insecurities about that. Like, I don't want anyone to see how I cut a wig because what if they tell me I do it wrong? I don't want anyone to see me sew my costume because I'm probably very, very likely to sew it to my pants and start screaming because that's what happens. And it's embarrassing to show you that. So I've been putting myself out there with no makeup or little makeup and kind of letting you guys see a little more me.
And I know you're bringing that up because don't you also have a book coming out, Life as a Cosplayer or something like that?
Yes. So as soon as Fire Bitch gets mailed out, which I'm really waiting on shipping supplies right now. That's been the biggest holdup, as my backing boards and really the market, like it's like getting bags and boards is like doing little drug deals right now. I'll meet you in the alley, wear a mask. I need some bags and boards. You got the bags and boards for me? So that's like the biggest holdup right now. And so once we get this going, then the next one is the first run of Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. And I'm combining that with a pinup book. So it's going to be a pinup book with Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, which is a trilogy. And if you notice, most of my stuff comes out in threes because all bad things come in threes. So yes, the first volume of Confessions of a Cosplay Diva is Rise of a Cosplay Diva. And that is telling a lot of these backstories about what's happened and all these little things that people want to know. And I'm nervous about it. I'm like, are you guys going to judge me? Do you know what she did? It's like, don't even lie. You did it.
But it's great because, like I said, you've had the videos where we actually get to go behind the scenes and watch you while you're making some of your cosplay, or if you're just talking and going through, sometimes you just get on there and want to just talk to us, which is great because you'll be on there for 2 hours just talking about whatever. You'll just ask for anybody who go ahead and bring up any comments on there and go through it.
It's not about me. It's about the chicken. We all know.
I haven't even brought up Lemonade as of yet.
She was put in timeout because she started pecking.
Okay. I kind of figured because usually she's right there on your shoulder area right there. So I didn't know. She's getting as much time online as you are here lately.
She is. She loves it. She loves it. She can tell. She sees the screen, she sees the colors, and she knows, and she absolutely loves it. So, like, that's really just about her.
Anybody that's in here that does not know, yes, she has a pet chicken, and I will say it's tame, but I'm going to use ish after that.
Yeah.
She does have a few issues with there as far as being tame. Now, I will also say that if you look at the bottom of the screen right now, I have had that little ticker going across there.
Sorry about Cara.
So whenever you start into the whole, it looks like we're doing a deal behind in the alley, I had to put the sorry about Cara up there. This is something that you and Alfred had come up with.
No, that is something Alfred came up with.
Oh, we're going to blame him on this one straight up?
Oh, that's totally him. He's like, sorry about Kara, sorry about Kara. I should make that a t-shirt. So the first round of sorry about Kara t-shirts are being shipped to me right now and will be mailed out very shortly. And the thing is, people, it's funny, people think, oh, you make all this money. I don't. I mean, I drive a 1999 Ford Explorer that I got from my dad. Okay, so I'm not rolling in it. And like the shirts and the masks, I did both of those to help some small business friends of mine. So I do have my Fire Bitch masks as well. And I did both of those projects to help out some friends of mine who are small business owners and help them get some of their business up and running. So the Sorry About Kara t-shirts, I go through Dark Knight Industries, which is my friend Bat, his business that he runs out of his home, doing screen printing on t-shirts, and I wanted to give him some business. I mean, people want to be able to purchase things. They want to be able to help the economy, stimulate the economy by supporting small businesses, supporting, guys like you and guys like me, and all the people we work with, because you notice that all the small business people are working together. Like we
Oh,
talked about
absolutely.
Fire Bitch. I'm shipping all of my books that are just books sized stuff. They're all going in Gemini mailers. And for those of you who don't know, Gemini is a small family business. So they have the best comic book mailers that you can get that protect your stuff the best. And so I'm not only using a good product, I'm supporting a small business. So anytime you can support that small business, please do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. And what you do for helping out some of the other small businesses is huge. I mean, you do have that selfless nature about you in trying to work with other people. Yes, you do want to get paid for your services for things that you do as well. And I have no problem with that. But,
Your sound is down.
oh, did it come back up?
No, it didn't.
Okay. We're having issues with that. Let me see. Are we a little better now?
No. Okay. You can, okay. As long as you guys can hear, I can hear you good enough.
Okay. Just making sure. I don't know what's going on with that, but okay. But yeah, you've been helping out with a lot of the small businesses, and and by helping out it doesn't necessarily mean that she's giving money to the small businesses. She's giving advice. She's lending that ear. She's hey, this might actually help you out. You may not have the money right now, but in the future, this would be a great idea to do. Not only does she do everything I've said on here, I'm telling you the businesswoman aspect that's on here that I put on here is very true. Smart does not describe what I feel about that you've got going for you on here. You are very intelligent, which is excellent because it makes it very easy to talk to you, very easy to interact with you. And for those of you that would just show the respect to go ahead and know her for who she is, great person to talk to. Just going to go throw that out there. But the businesswoman, yeah, you've definitely got that going for you. You've had some great ideas, and we're actually working on some ideas. So keep that in mind. Can you still hear me?
I can barely hear you, so I don't know if it's a headset issue, but
Okay, they're saying we're both loud and clear.
yeah, they're saying it's great.
Okay.
On my
Okay.
end, it's super super quiet. So I'm just listening as best I can.
Now, let me ask you, what advice would you give to aspiring artists or cosplayers?
Well, I would tell you that you are your biggest critic and don't be so hard on yourself. I am actually the worst when it comes to that. I will not put something out because I'm afraid it's not good enough, or I'm afraid that people are going to see what I did wrong. And then I look at other people's work and I'm like, your stuff is just as crappy as my stuff. Or my stuff isn't so bad. So I'm going to tell you the gravy story. And it's kind of a ridiculous little story, but it kind of embodies this idea here. So I love gravy, and it's hard to find vegan gravy that is easy and available, especially since my little grocery store shut down. So I'm like, I should just make it. I should just make it. And I never made it. I didn't make the gravy because I was afraid that it wasn't going to be good. And it's so stupid because it's not even something that costs a lot of money or uses a lot of ingredients. But I was so nervous that this gravy was not going to be good and that I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I have to buy it. So finally I decided I'm going to look up online how to make gravy. And I looked and I'm like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. They did it wrong. And I know I sound so cocky, but it's true because they had you mix like flour and water and broth and all this crap and mix it all up and then just boil it, which sounds all right. And I guess it worked. But I'm like, they didn't make a roux. They didn't cook down their flour. It's going to taste starchy. And then I realized I know all of this stuff. It's okay. Make the gravy. And you know what? I made the gravy. And now I can have gravy anytime I want. And so
There you
can
go.
you. Trust in yourself and give yourself the same opportunity you would give someone else. Because if someone else came to you and said, oh, I don't know if I should put out my art. I'm not really that good. I'm really nervous. Then you know what you would do? You would kick them in the butt and you would say, put it out there. You're great. Do it. Well, treat yourself the way that you would treat someone else and give yourself a break, because what makes you so special that you have to be living to a higher standard than everybody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely and totally agree on that. And that is great advice and a great analogy to put it that way because I love gravy as well. So I think I'm going to stock up on some gravy whenever we're done. Now, I will go ahead and say that we had a question earlier about what are your future projects that are going to be coming up on Kickstarter.
Oh, we already talked about that. That was Confessions of a Cosplay Diva
uh-huh,
with the pinup book. And we also have Fire Bitch issue 2.
uh-huh.
And coming next year, Unstable Frequencies is a horror anthology that we're going to be bringing a lot of different artists on. We are not going to be doing the art for that ourselves. I have met some amazing artists over the year, and I really want an opportunity to put out their work and, and just be the writer. So I love
Exactly.
writing. I've got some stories to tell, and I'm going to tell them. And so don't judge me.
Now, currently you have Kickstarter, or you're in a Kickstarter with Princesses versus Zombies
Yes.
as Mrs. White.
Yes. So
Yes,
and that was interesting because I am not a Disney person, and Mrs. White is very similar to Snow White. And so I thought that was really cool that he hit me up for that. And I got to have a lot of fun with that one. And so, yes, I have a zombie killer Snow White cosplay kind of going on there.
and we had kind of touched on the other one, which is coming out next month,
Yes.
which I will say right now, I am directly involved in as well. I do not do a cover or anything. I am just doing the marketing for it, but brought Cara onto the team, and the team that we have put together for Vampires New Jersey is a great team, and you will have 2 covers that we're going to be doing there, and you're also going to be involved in some stretch goals that are going to be on there. That will be launching on the 16th of May, and if you want to tell them a little bit about your character.
So for zombies or Vampires of New Jersey, you actually could probably tell us a little bit more than I could. So I did a cosplay for Wanda, which I used to have a chicken named Wanda, by the way. And she's a vampire. And so why don't you tell us about that? You know more than I do.
She is one of the main bad guy characters, bad girl, but she doesn't have a huge presence at the beginning. I'll just put it that way. However, I thought it was kind of the best way to have Cara go ahead and introduce that. So we discussed that with creator Alton Simpson, and he went ahead and she planned out what we are going to do on that. We came up with, you gave us some great photos. Unfortunately, we had to go through so many photos and narrow it down to just a couple. But She really, really pulled it off. If you look at the wall, I have them listed on there with one of them that gives the teaser because we like to tease with that. Full productions of them will be released in, I believe, 2 weeks because we will be launching on the 16th. So that is one of them that we have coming. Do you have anything else coming up after that that you'll be doing any covers for or anything?
Yes. So there's a couple of things. So there is, let's see, we've got the Princesses versus Zombies. We got the Vampires of New Jersey. Stay tuned for more Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins and Sisterhood, which is a book out of the Netherlands, and it is a mummy book. So stay tuned for that one as well. And then, of course, my book, Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. It is, like I said, it's a pinup book that's going with the confessions. So that is, and I believe I've got more. I've been talking to Luis here about the possibility of doing a little demoness.
Ooh, yes.
So, that's on the table as well. And we have been in talks with CB Zane about doing some stuff for him. So just because I don't do, even though I don't do a cosplay piece, a lot of times I'll be doing an art piece. So, and that was something that Alton Simpson and I were talking about as far as doing an art piece for Vampires in New Jersey with lines by Alfred Trujillo and colors by me. Oh, we also did an art cover for Succubus by Rob Hicks. So, yeah, I believe that's all I can think of, unless you think of anything else. But
that's all I can think of right now. Yeah,
kind of where we are right now. There's always stuff going on. I mean, this is like 3 full-time jobs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I will say the comments have really been moving on here. It looks like we've got Wendy came in, so thank you for being here, Wendy. We have got, of course, Steph is still talking. He will be on it looks like he's going to be on the Sisterhood thing with you.
What was that? Was there a question there?
Let me see. No, he said something. I'm looking back. It's still moving pretty quick. Steph said something he's going to be on the same project with you for the Netherlands thing, I believe. Yeah, Sisterhood. That's what he said.
I'm getting a lot of comments about making my own gravy and about how I need to have my own line of gravy.
Hey, you never know nowadays.
You never know. You just don't. I agree with that.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, it's still moving pretty quick on here. If you're in the audience and you would like to ask some questions, go right ahead and do so if you would like to do so.
This is your chance.
She is over here ready and waiting for questions.
And don't forget about my comedy show
yes.
tonight and tomorrow. There are 2 of them.
And I have links in the description for the video. Perfect. They are up there so that you can click on those directly for the mask, for the Sorry About Cara t-shirt, for the comedy show, how to get on her, let me see, I've got a few of them on here. I've got like 6 or 7 links on here for you.
So there is a post. So this is being put out through Viva Live TV. And just so you know, my comedy show tonight and tomorrow, this is actually the live uncut filming of my 30-minute special. So you definitely want to jump in on that. Don't judge me too harshly. Remember, it is only comedy. It's a joke, people. And if you can't take one, then take the stick out of your butt so that maybe there's room for a joke.
Now, if you can't see it live, but you pay for a ticket, are you able to see it later?
No.
Okay.
but like I said, we're doing it on Zoom. There's only a few spots for each show.
Yeah, because you don't
And
want to
I'm
break the
trying
internet.
to find the giveaway link because I believe that they're doing a giveaway. So let me see if I can. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna stick this.
And Mark wants to know if you will be on first, second, third, or fourth.
I don't know yet. It just depends on how they. Oh, it looks like it might have gotten upgraded. So it sounds like, okay, so it says Viva Live TV has bought 10 tickets for tonight and tomorrow for us to give away. First 10 people with a Zoom account to comment here get in free for our live streaming for the special. I guess it's been upgraded. Oh, you don't want to listen to me talk for that long. I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm going to tag you. And then that way, and I'm going to tag Heather. And that way you guys can throw this out. Do I not have Heather on mine, or is she not taggable?
She should be on yours.
I don't think she's taggable. Okay, I've got you tagged here, and
Okay.
I'm gonna tag Comics and More, see if it'll let me do that. There we go. So I'm gonna tag your page and tag you, and so Heather can go from there.
Perfect.
So, yes,
and Alton is in here.
Oh, can you say hi to Cara from Niobe? Hi to Cara from Niobe.
And Alton is in here, and he is confirming what he said to me on the phone, that you are a force of nature.
Well, Larry says one can cream, and he really needs to keep that to the Pornhub and the Thought Hub, comments. That this is a nice place. We're nice. Phil's a nice person, Larry.
Yeah, this is not Rebel Gaming. It's a little different.
So Mark says happy birthday to Cara from me. Well, thank you. My birthday is next month, and we will be doing I'll be doing a birthday party online. So
that is on the 18th?
Yes, you can join me for my birthday on May 18th. I believe 5:30 is when 5:30 my time. It's hard to find a time that accommodates everybody. Does that make sense? Because like I'm over here on California time, and you guys are over there in, cold, freezing area of the world time.
So see, it's perfect timing with your birthday.
Winter.
Exactly. It's perfect timing with your birthday because we actually launched Vampires New Jersey 2 days before. So a great birthday present for her. Get her cover.
Yeah. Larry's over there
with his,
are
amazing. Get her cover.
Freudian slips. Luis is laughing
there are a lot of
at
those.
him. This is great. We're just going to laugh. And then he says, God famine. So there we go.
Yeah, Larry's having all kinds of issues with the autocorrect today.
Yes, but it entertains me, so that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely.
Wendy wants to know more about the show, and I really don't have much more, other than, yes, they're going to be filming it, and hopefully I don't screw that up too bad.
Oh, I doubt you will.
So I'm known to say some terrible things. So there we go.
Now, are you going to be up there as Cara, or are you actually going to be in cosplay whenever you do this?
So I will be in
both.
cosplay.
Okay.
Because that's what we screen test for. And you talked about growing from being at home so much, and I say that the thing that I think that I've grown the most is my smell, because I'm so glad none of you can smell me. It's terrible. I've been so busy that I have not had the opportunity to shower as much as I would like. So now my dirty little secret that I smell real, real bad. So everybody feel sorry for Alfred. It's how I maintain my social distancing. I just don't shower and you all stay away from me. And it's not that I'm afraid of giving you anything life threatening, but no one should be subject to this much bullshit.
And Wendy said poor Alfred, so she feels for him.
He's not even in the room. He's like, I'm social distancing.
Well, it is. It is an immense amount of fun to watch both of you interacting and how you interact. And we could go into so much more on what all happens with that and how you met. And if you want to know more about her, I'm gonna tell you right now, whenever she has a show, jump on there, say hello, and just have some fun with the rest of us. We have a blast in there. And some of the things that are said do require the sorry about Cara that's being on the ticker right now.
This book should have come with a sorry about Cara shirt.
Now, that book, I will bring up real quick, that book comes with a soundtrack that you download. And it actually has a list that you download as well so that you'll know which pages go with which songs. I actually did that. Y'all put a lot of thought into that. That was amazing. It was great the way that it flowed. I thought it was great the way it was, but the way that you put the soundtrack in there, that should be something where it has the pop up with it automatically in there with the sound as you go through. But that could be something for down, later circumstances on there. But yeah, it came out really well.
Well, because of the fact that we don't own the rights to any of that music, and we're just a small comic book publishing, from our house kind of people. So to pay for that would be an extraordinary expense. So we just used I created this online playlist through Spotify, so you can, and it's the unofficial soundtrack. So yes, I picked songs that I thought would go with each scene or each area of the book.
Yeah, and it definitely it fits directly in there with that. And I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments, and Russell said, "So that's what the masks are for, poor Alfred."
Yeah, that should say on the back of the shirt, poor Alfred.
Oh.
So Alfred says that he can write music if I want. Alfred is working on a Fire Bitch theme song.
Oh, there you go.
And he does have musical talents, and he did have a band for many, many years, and we do have a couple of music videos out. So if you take a look over at my YouTube page and on my Facebook page, we've got a couple of music videos up there. And Do You See Me was actually the song that we used for my political campaign. And so it was actually funny because some of the news outlets were like, oh, why would I vote for someone walking down the street muttering to herself? And it's like, that's my music video, you moron. So, it's kind of one of the things that did happen and we did do. So take a look at The Living Dead and Do You See Me, both on my YouTube page and my Facebook page. And Alfred did write those songs as well as the music for those songs. And Living Dead is a zombie song. And the video's got a very Scooby-Doo component to it. And we filmed that over at a haunted house called Fear Farm down over here in the Phoenix area. So that was a lot of fun. And then Do You See Me was filmed all across the country during some of our road trips and some of our other things that we did all over the place. So, definitely take a look at those.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, I have to ask a question because I do have another guest this evening that we're a lot of us are aware of. So I got to ask the question: what was it like to work with Tom Hutchison?
Well, Tom's not here, so he's in wherever the crap he's at, Indiana or Illinois, something.
Michigan,
So
Michigan,
he's
something.
across
I
the
don't know.
country,
Yeah.
and I've known Tom for years. So we just chat. We're just people. Hi, Alfred.
Hi, Alfred. So I actually I drew this for Phil. So
Oh,
thank
you
you so much
Hey.
for always backing us and supporting us. Really appreciate it.
So there you
Oh
go.
wow. Thank you, Alfred. That is great, man.
You forgot her earrings.
No, I didn't. Hey.
So we're gonna get that in the mail for you. Let me see if I can get it to. There we go.
I will
So you can
proudly
see it.
display that. Thank you
Right
very
on.
much. No, I was
What were we
asking
talking
because we were asking about what it's like to work with Tom. Because the reason I bring that up is because we do have Steph in the audience, or he was here at least, and he is very vocal on how it is to work with Tom. So
It's
I didn't know if
fine. I mean, we chat over Messenger, and like I said, I've known Tom for years, and he sent me what he could as far as like reference. I'm like, you got reference? We just shoot back and forth, and cool guy.
good,
I was
good.
surprised that he hit me up.
Hey, I'm just making sure whenever I get him on here tonight that he's not going to start saying bad things about you. I just want to get prepared in time.
If you can't say something bad about me, then you haven't paid enough attention.
Wait a minute, that's my cue. Hang on, let me get the banner up here, and there we go. See, right on cue. Sorry about Cara.
Sorry about Cara. Get your Sorry About Cara t-shirt.
Absolutely. I need to get mine ordered, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I have had a blast with this. If you have any more final questions as we're going ahead and wrapping this up, if you want to go ahead and put this over here to the side, we'll go ahead and go through this. She is preparing for a comedy show for 2 nights here, and she's got all kinds of stuff going.
Go to my personal page and get yourself some free tickets if you have not yet. So, like I said, Viva Live TV bought 10 tickets for tonight, and they're doing it to give it away. So I'm going to share that. And so yes, you go to my personal page. It's just under Cara Nicole. If you missed me, then you're not paying attention. In cosplay as Fire Bitch. Get your tickets now. I don't know.
And again, I have all of these links.
Live TV is sponsoring this, and so yeah, take a look and see and get yourself some tickets.
Yeah, and I have all of these links attached in the description, so I made it as easy as possible, including the tickets, so you can go directly over there and look at that. If you have any further questions on this, message, and some of us will be able to get you the answers you need on this. But definitely keep your eyes peeled on Kickstarter projects, other projects that are happening, because she's got a lot going on, and there's going to be a ton of stuff that's going to start dumping out there. Stay on top of it, because it's about to get all kinds of warm in here.
Larry wants to know how to get one, if you missed out on Fire Bitch, and you can still get ticket. You can still purchase this book through the CrowdOx survey, and I'm going to post that link right there.
Excellent.
And you can still get it through the CrowdOx survey, and stretch goals at this point are available while supplies last. So we still have a few more stretch goal bundle packs, and so stay tuned for that and check it out on CrowdOx.
Absolutely. I certainly appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking it out of your busy schedule to go ahead and be with me today and have some fun with this. I hope everyone else had a blast with this, but we're definitely going to have to do this again. And in fact, we have a couple of projects where it will happen again, probably in about a month, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe I have you scheduled in there. If not, I will have to do so. But this has been a blast, and I have greatly enjoyed this. I hope you have as well, Cara.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to have fun with what you do. Yeah, exactly. You got to have fun with what you do, or it's not even worth it.
So, okay,
Well, thank
so
you.
you all know how to get a copy of Fire Bitch. And I hope you all join me at my comedy show tonight or tomorrow. And go to my personal page to check out all of that. And anything else?
That is about it. We got all the links on there. If you do have questions, get with us. We'll get the answers. You can go directly to Cara. You can come to me. You can go to Alfred. Heather, one of us will have some of the answers you need. But other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and let you go because you got to get ready for your comedy show tonight. Good luck with that one. And we will talk to you again here pretty soon. Thank you for being here.
All right. Bye.
That was Cara Nicole was on our show and had a blast with this. And I will say I always have the closing statements on here. This is not going to be any different on that. And I always come up with something different. I'm going to go ahead and state the obvious on this. I always talk about what the difference is in indies between the mainstreams is the passion. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's passion personified in everything that she does. And I mean everything, whether it's the writing, the editing, the coloring, doing the comics, whether it be the cosplay, going into the comedy, or even as a businesswoman. Every bit of it, she has got more passion in it than most people do in most of the things that they do in their regular lives. So the takeaway on all of this is how much passion is too much passion? How much passion is not enough? And how much passion should you be putting into all of your work while you're going ahead and getting into all of this? There's a lot of things going on in the world that are kind of dragging people down. Maybe we need to go ahead and start picking some people up. I'm doing what I can on my end. Hopefully you're enjoying. Cara's doing everything on her end. There are a lot of amazing people that are doing what they can. Let's just keep that going. We'll keep it positive. We'll keep it out there. We'll stay safe. We'll get through this. And we will create a new normal for out there whenever we get out there. That is a promise. Demon Phil, Comics and More, New Jersey. Keep it indie, y'all.